Olight's 19th anniversary sale. They're introducing some new flashlights for their 19th anniversary, and I have 3 of them right here. So what lights do I have? Well, right here is the Baton 4 Pro, this is the Baton Ultra, and this guy right here is the ArkPro Ultra. And I already know what you guys are saying. Hold up, the ArkPro Ultra isn't new, and I know that. I have the first one right here. I did a review on it, the very first ArkPro Ultra. But the new version right here does something a little bit different, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. So let's just jump right into this. I want to start right here with the Baton 4 Pro and the Baton Ultra. And I'll get all of this out of the way, put it off to the side, and let me give you guys a close-up of these 2 brand new flashlights from Olight. So why am I talking about these 2 flashlights at the same time? Well, they're almost identical other than a few specs. And of course, the material the Ultra is made of, but you guys already know. And before I start going over those differences, let me bring in some of the older batons right here. This is the Baton Pro, and right here is the Baton 3 Pro. And I'm sure you guys can see the size differences right away. The Baton 3 Pro is significantly shorter than the 4 Pro and the Baton Ultra. But it's right in line with the Baton Pro right there. If you guys have one of those, it's almost the same length. It's actually just slightly shorter. And of course, there's a lot of upgrades with these 2 new flashlights versus these older models. So let's start talking about that. So let's start with the specs. They both have 5 brightness levels plus strobe. The Baton Ultra has a maximum output of 1800 lumens versus the Baton 4 Pro's 1600 lumens. The Baton Ultra can throw up to 300 meters and the Baton 4 Pro can throw up to 200 meters. The Ultra's max intensity is 22,500 candela versus the Baton 4 Pro's 10,000 candela. And regarding the lighting modes, that's pretty much it. Everything else is exactly the same between these 2. High is 600, medium is 120 lumens, low is 15, and moonlight is 1. But there's one main difference with the LEDs. The Baton Ultra features Olight's very first self-developed LED. They call it the EIP1, and I really don't have any experience with this LED, so I'm going to start doing a lot of testing on that LED. But my first impressions are very, very good. Very intense hotspot, a really nice spill with that LED, and almost 0 green tint from what I saw. It's a very clean looking LED here. And if I just turn on both flashlights on the table here, let me put them on low, and you can see that intense hotspot right there with the Baton Ultra versus the Baton 4 Pro. And of course, that has a lot to do with the extra 100 meters of throw and extra, 12,500 candela. And of course, I'll take all 3 of these flashlights outside and do a beam test a little bit later on in this video, just so you guys can see that beam pattern for yourself so you can make an informed decision if you're interested in either one of these 2 lights. So let's continue here. They both have dual charging, meaning you can charge it magnetically through the tail, or you can charge them via the USB-C charging port in this new little hidden port right down here at the bottom of the tail. So you see right here on the Baton 4 Pro, the same here with the Ultra. Just give the tail a twist and it reveals right there the USB-C charging port. I love this new change right here, and I'll just show you right here on the Ultra as I turn it. Boom, right there. I think that's really cool. I love hidden charging ports, just so you don't get any dirt, dust, mud in your charging port there. Also, let me give you guys a look at this newly designed tail here too. I like this. Completely flat so you can tail stand it. Also, there's some texturing right there on the tail too, so when your thumb is there, it doesn't just slip around. It actually works very nice. So of course, on both flashlights, the tail switch is your instant access to turbo. There is a momentary on too, so if I just press and hold for a couple seconds, let go, there's your momentary, or just quickly press it for constant on. And they both have the signature side switch right there. You can see on the Baton 4 Pro, it is a blue metal switch versus a black metal switch on the Ultra. And they're both slightly recessed and they feel pretty good. Nice and clicky right there, but not overly clicky, which I don't like. Typical Olight UI right here. If you guys own any Olights, you guys already know what this UI is. I'm not going to go over the UI in this video. I just want to talk about these new flashlights and some of the new features. And on both of these flashlights, they're adopting the new power indicator right there, the power indicator and brightness indicator on either side of that side switch. And this isn't necessarily a new feature for Olight, but I'm glad to see it on the Baton 4 Pro and the Baton Ultra. They both have the same two-way deep carry pocket clip, as you can see right there, and they're both IPX8 waterproof. The X means that dust proofing wasn't tested, and the 8 means it's submersible in up to 6 feet of water. The Baton 4 Pro has a 1.5 meter impact resistance versus the Ultra's 2 meter impact resistance. And they both ship with the exact same 18650. Let me just give you guys a look here. Yep, it is a 3500 milliamp hour, 3.6 volt 18650. And I already mentioned that it can be charged magnetically through the tail or the USB-C charging port at the bottom of the flashlight. But if you also have a slot charger, you can also do that. And now the body, the Baton 4 Pro is made from 6061 aluminum versus the Baton Ultra's OAL material. OAL is Olight super aluminum. It's scratch resistant. It's a pretty strong aluminum. If you guys aren't familiar with that, just Google Olight OAL and you can read all about it. So that is the Baton 4 Pro and the Baton Ultra. Now let's get to the ArkPro Ultra right here. So as I mentioned, I've already done a few videos on the ArkPro Ultra. So what makes this one different? First off, being part of the Ultra series, it's made of Olight's OAL, but now in this sleek looking black color. And you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Almost every single flashlight released these days is black. And you're 100% correct, but just the fact that this is made from OAL and is black, I think is really cool. Usually a flashlight from Olight made from OAL is this color right here, just like we saw in the Baton Ultra, but now it's this Onyx Black. I think it looks gorgeous. And on top of that, Olight is using a new surface treatment right here, which makes it very smooth and almost has a satin sheen to it. And if I get in closer, you can see it almost looks like it has a texture to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can't feel that. It's still very smooth, but it looks really nice. And if I bring in the other ArkPro Ultra that I have, you can see they're almost identical in form factor, the same exact body, the instant access to the green lasers in the same place, same two-way pocket clip right there, and the same USB-C charging port right there. And there is no difference in the mechanical dial. There's your spot, flood, and the UV light. So what makes this new ArkPro and Onyx Black different from this version right here? Well, it also has the new EIP1 LED inside. The same exact LED that they put in the Baton Ultra is now in the ArkPro Ultra in Onyx Black. And I don't know, there's just something about the ArkPro Ultra being made in this sleek black color. I really like this. And if I turn it back on, you can see that little glowing white light right there. If you guys didn't already know, that light changes based on how long you've used the flashlight for. It'll actually change over time. If I bring in my other ArkPro Ultra, you can see it's yellow now. And they give you this little insert right here that kind of describes what that means. I'll take a close-up picture of this and throw it on the screen, but you can see the different colors represent different levels and how long you've used the flashlight for. I just think that's really cool, and if you guys didn't realize that, well, now you know. And regarding the specs here, it's still 1700 lumens, can throw 205 meters. The UV light is 1200 milliwatts, and that green laser is a class 3R green laser with 2 different levels. So that's enough talking about all 3 of these flashlights. Let's take this outside so I can show you the beam pattern. Let's go. As you can see, it is pretty dark back here. Let's start with the Baton 4 Pros. Start with moonlight, and that is 1 lumen. You can barely see that. So let's go to low. And yeah, not getting much. I mean, I am sort of kissing that tree right here, but I can see on camera, you guys can hardly see that. But let's go on to medium then. There we go. So there's the tree I was talking about. And let's scan across very slowly. And yeah, I'm kissing that barn a little bit. I'll put up the distance between me and that barn, and then me and that tree that I just showed you. Right there. And whoa. The heck? All right, that was weird. Just a bug. Yeah, it's just a bug. I thought it was something in the lawn. I was looking at my camera. I thought it was a animal of some sort. But if I hold it dead center, you can see it's a pretty wide hotspot. And if I move the flashlight, you can see it does have the makings of a crispy perimeter and a really smooth beam transition from that hotspot all the way to the end. It's pretty floody too. That's what I was saying earlier. You know, this is going to be a floodier flashlight with a bigger hotspot. 10,000 candela. Let's move up to high right there. Boom. All right. And you can see that beam right there, easily hitting that tree. This is nice. Looks like it's a little foggy out here. We had some rain earlier, but you guys are so used to seeing snow back here. No more snow, thank God. And then let's go to turbo. I'm just gonna hit the tail switch right here. Oh wait, let's do it again. 2, 3, 1. High, the double press for turbo right there. That is nice. So I don't know how long we're getting on turbo. I didn't do a turbo test with any of these flashlights, but man, that is lighting up a pretty good area back here. Look at that. You guys can see. Wow. Cool white color temperature right there. So let's move on. That is the Baton 4 Pro. Let's go to the Baton Ultra. Should I start on moonlight? Yep, moonlight right there. And then let's just cycle through to low. I'm not going to spend too much time there. Let's go right to medium. All right. That's something we can work with. Medium. And this is with the new EIP 1 LED. Okay. A little bit tighter of a hotspot right there. It's pretty much the same exact perimeter right there. Pretty much exactly the same. Let's move on to high. I'm sorry, was that high? I'm sorry, I get confused. Low, medium, high, low, medium, high, right there. There we go. And yeah, it's getting a little foggy here. So hopefully you guys are getting a good idea of what to expect with these two Baton flashlights. If I hold it dead center, you can see a little bit tighter of a hotspot, way more intense. Way more intense of a hotspot, but a little smaller. But I would say the beam perimeter is about the same on both of these flashlights. So, but this is what I was saying. I mean, maybe it's not registering too much on camera, but the beam is just super clear. It's just hard to explain. It's clear when I'm looking at something like that tree. It just shows up very clear within that beam versus that standard LED. I don't know. I know it's a little hard to see, and that fog is not making it, not helping. But I want to do a lot more tests with this new EIP 1. But let's go to turbo, double click, turbo. Wow. All right. There's that barn. It is so dark tonight. I don't know why it is so dark. There's no moonlight. That's one of the problems. Zero moonlight. All right, so that is the Baton Ultra. Now let's bring out the ArkPro Ultra. And if you guys already know, the Ultra version right here, it does have the ability to flood and spot. So I'm going to start right here on low and flood. Medium on flood. Let's just pan across on medium on flood. All right, yeah, I am hitting that barn. Very nice. And yeah, this is lighting up a pretty big area right now. And low, medium, high. Hopefully I had that right. I don't know why I'm getting confused with the low, medium, and highs lately. I kind of forget where I'm at. And then let's go here. Double click for turbo on flood. Wow. See? Pretty wide area. Same EIP 1 LED. Same color temperature. I mean, look at that. So let's go over to flood mode, or sorry, spot mode. And that's low, medium. There's the tree. Very spotty. Such a cool light that you can just switch back and forth between flood and spot easily. Low, medium, high. Easily hitting that tree back there. Am I hitting the trees behind? I am. There's some trees that are back there. Right behind this little shrub, these shrub lines right here, is a cornfield. So there's a lot of trees that kind of line the edges, sort of in a square, right? So there's one of the lines that make up that square, and then right over here, starting with those trees going all the way back. So I like to see those trees when I'm doing these tests. Now let's do turbo. All right. If I hold it dead center, you can see the differences here. So this is more of a spotty flashlight in general, not as floody as the Baton flashlights. That beam perimeter doesn't spread out the same, but yeah, there we go. And then the laser, there we go. So there's low, high. So that's a class 3R laser, and I'm easily hitting that barn. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, very nice. So that is the brand new ArkPro Ultra in Onyx Black. Let's go back inside. And if you guys want to check out any one of these 3 flashlights or any of the other brand new flashlights at Olight sale, I'll put all that information down below in my description box, along with all of the sale information, all the dates and all that good stuff. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe and go.